We sent out some wonderful National Guard. They've really helped in a lot of problems they were having out there. They were afraid to do anything, and we sent out the troops, and they've done a fantastic job. So I want to thank them very much.
I, in partnership with Governor Gavin Newsom, are suing President Trump and asking the court to set aside the president's unlawful action federalizing the California National Guard.
A legal firestorm in California. The state sues Donald Trump, accusing him of an illegal power grab. The National Guard hits Los Angeles streets, but the governor says he never gave the green light. So, who's really in charge when the boots hit the ground? Let's break it down. On Monday, California sued the Trump administration for deploying the National Guard in Los Angeles without the governor's consent. The lawsuit, filed in federal court, calls the move an unprecedented power grab. Attorneys for the state argue that President Trump unlawfully bypassed Governor Gavin Newsom by placing the state's National Guard under federal control.
The president left our state and local authorities to continue the important work they were already doing and were more than capable of doing. What we do know is that what we saw yesterday happened after the president's unnecessary, counterproductive, and, most importantly, unlawful order. An order that abused the federal government's authority and violated the 10th Amendment and federal law. An order that skipped over multiple rational, common sense, strategic steps that should have been deployed to quell unrest and prevent escalation. This is a law that requires the governor's consent to activate the National Guard. This is the first time since 1965 that a president has activated the National Guard without a request from the state's governor.
Trump used a law that allows the president to call the Guard into federal service during a rebellion. But California says this does not apply. The state argues there is no rebellion, no insurrection, and the protests have not reached the scale of past riots in Los Angeles. The lawsuit highlights that Section 12406, the law cited by Trump, actually requires orders to go through governors. The lawsuit says deploying troops has only stoked fear and terror, escalating tensions with both protesters and residents. It also argues that local police have been effective in managing any violence. The filing states, one of the cornerstones of our nation and our democracy is that our people are governed by civil, not military rule. It adds, the founders enshrined these principles in our Constitution, that a government should be accountable to its people, guided by the rule of law, and one of civil authority, not military rule. Governor Newsom blasted Trump online, saying, Donald Trump is putting fuel on this fire. Commandeering a state's National Guard while consulting the governor of that state is illegal and immoral. He added that California would see the president in court. The Trump administration has also activated 700 active duty Marines to assist the National Guard. Newsom hinted he may sue again, though it's unclear whether it'll be a new lawsuit or an addition to the current one. The feud between Trump and Newsom reached new heights on Monday. Trump publicly voiced support for Newsom's arrest.
He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA?
Oh,
are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail.
As I'm sure.
Meanwhile, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said federalizing the Guard deprives the state of critical emergency resources. Speaking on CBS News, A Takeout, Bonta said, the authority that the president cites only allows for deployment when there's an invasion by a foreign nation or rebellion, or when federal forces can't execute the law. None of that is present.
Or no rights are
Asked if
violated.
the lawsuit hinders the president's ability to ensure public safety, Bonta said California has well-resourced law enforcement capable of managing the protests. He added, "If the National Guard is ever needed, the governor can call them in. But the president calling in the Marines, the president calling the National Guard, it only stokes the flames, increases tension, creates unneeded provocation." The Guard was deployed to downtown Los Angeles on Sunday. This came after a weekend of tense protests sparked by large-scale immigration enforcement operations on Friday. Media footage showed Guard members using tear gas and non-lethal rounds near the Metropolitan Detention Center. As of midday Monday, 53 arrests were reported, according to officials. LAPD arrested 31 people for charges including failure to disperse, looting, arson, and assault. California Highway Patrol arrested 17. The LA County Sheriff's Department arrested 5. Trump announced a deployment Saturday night. On Sunday, he attacked Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass online, calling the protesters troublemakers and insurrectionists. Newsom responded by accusing Trump of escalating the situation and called the deployment purposefully inflammatory. He also sent a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, demanding the federal government rescind the deployment. The letter states there is no need for National Guard troops in Los Angeles. Newsom's office confirmed a 40-minute phone call between him and Trump, but it's unclear whether they spoke before or after the president's announcement. The National Guard is a unique part of the U.S. military. It serves both state governors and the president. Members are part-time soldiers who can be mobilized for domestic emergencies or overseas missions. Each state, territory, and Washington, D.C. has its own Guard unit. This dual role sets it apart from other branches of the military. The Guard can be deployed in 2 ways. 1. State deployments, controlled by governors, used during natural disasters, public health emergencies, and civil unrest. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Guard members distributed masks, disinfected public spaces, and assembled testing kits. 2. Federal deployments, ordered by the president, rare and often controversial. Trump's deployment this week is the first presidential use of this power since 1992. That year, the Guard was activated during the LA riots after the acquittal of 4 police officers in the Rodney King beating case. This time, it's not just troops on the streets. It's a constitutional showdown over power, protest, and who gets to call the shots.